And now, from Pasadena, it's CCN Sunrise with Sunita Joshua Madison, Paulo Alejandria, the Crown City News team, and the CCN Sunrise segment stars. It's time to wake up San Gabriel Valley with CCN Sunrise.
Watching CCN Sunrise. We're so happy to have you here this morning. I'm Sunita Joshua Madison.
And I'm Paulo Alejandria. Well, we rose to the challenge, did we not?
We were called out. Our former producer, Kelly Forsch, called us out on the ALS Bucket Challenge, Ice Bucket Challenge.
It's a good cause, and it was a lot of fun too, but, I mean, rather than us talk about it, let's show the folks out there what we were up to.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wow. Well, Sunita, I guess we're here, right?
We are here because our friend Kelly Forsch challenged us to the ALS Iceberg Bucket Challenge, and we are going to do it.
She actually also challenged our boss, Tammy Devine, but Kelly, I guess, like Meatloaf would say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
We're doing it for the team, and I know a lot of you have already seen a lot of these ice bucket challenges, but it's so important, the amount of money that ALS has raised from this, and the fact that they could maybe find a cure for this disease, this horrible disease, is worth it to us.
Yeah.
We're in it for the cause. Wait a minute! That was too soon! That was not how it was planned! Paulo, you didn't read the script.
You never go by the script of CCN Sunrise? Well, we're a little worse for the wear, but we completed the challenge, maybe not the way that she wanted to.
All right, well, I'm going to challenge Pasadena Police Chief Philip Sanchez, Bob McClure from our Money and Markets segment, and I'm going to do Jen Jones Donatelli.
All right, and well, I got some people too I want to challenge. I want to challenge the Pasadena Women of Leisure and Erdman, and I'm actually going to go 2 for 1 and get the winners involved. Charles and our segment star Mary Winners, you guys have been called out. And who am I forgetting here? Oh yes, Lee Cuellar, our real estate man. Prepare to get wet.
All right, make it happen, guys.
Kind of caught you off guard there.
Oh my God.
That look is priceless.
I'm like, what is he doing? That's not when we were supposed to do it. You really did get me.
Yeah.
But you know, we're on the tail end of this challenge, and I know a lot of people are kind of like, all right, enough already, when's this gonna stop? But the reason that I wanted to do it is I saw a video by someone who was just diagnosed with ALS. His mother has it, so there's a family connection. And he was just talking about how important it is. And that really convinced me because ALS has raised like $40 million, somewhere around there, when last year at this time they raised about $2 million. So it makes a difference.
Right, and all joking aside, it was great to kind of support a cause, and we just want to remind the folks out there that the water did go to a good place. We watered some plants with that, so.
Yeah, no wasting water
no
here
letters,
in
please.
California.
All right, now here's a look at what some of the news headlines making news right here in the San Gabriel Valley.
And now, CCN Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood starts right now.
South Pasadena police say they foiled the plans of 2 teenage boys who wanted to commit mass murder at the local high school. CCN's Tony Mead has the story.
Hi everybody, I'm Tony Mead, standing in front of South Pasadena High School, where 2 teenagers who attended school here have been arrested for allegedly plotting to commit a mass shooting on campus.
Very frightening experience for the school, and that's why we took it so seriously and continued on with the investigation through the arrest.
A school staff member notified police Thursday, August 14th, that they had received information about the threat of a shooting at the high school. Through internet surveillance of the suspects, police found evidence that 2 boys were researching rifles and how to shoot and assemble them. Police say they also found bombs and other explosive devices, and that the suspects had purchased bulletproof vests. Investigators said this was enough evidence to serve warrants at the boys' homes the following Monday. During a press conference the next day, Chief Miller says because police foiled the alleged plan, lives may have been saved. He says the students' plans to kill were very detailed.
What they were plotting, they were making a huge plan of a school massacre. They had identified 3 staff members at the school by name that they were targeting, along with some random students, as they called it. They just wanted to, as they put it, they just wanted to kill as many people as possible.
Mayor Dr. Marina Cabestrian commended police for the arrest. She says she feels confident that the school system of about 4,500 students in the small South Pasadena community is now safe.
As the mayor, this is the kind of thing I never want to have to talk about and deal with in our city. However, the story for me, and I'm thankful that the story that we're sharing now is one of prevention and not one of a mass shooting or a massacre.
Classes here begin Thursday, August 21st. The two suspected potential shooters who were about to begin their senior year will instead start the school year in jail. Some here say the alleged plot might have been hatched because the teenagers may have been bullied in school. A South Pasadena student says the boys were good students.
They were actually really good students. I've been in their classes with them, and they've actually helped me before. And one of them did a lot of extra things after school, math-wise. He was really smart.
The two suspects are being held in a juvenile facility facing criminal threats, and police are still investigating. In South Pasadena, Tony Mead, CCN.
Bunny lovers united at Whole Foods Market in Pasadena to protest the store's decision to sell rabbit meat. CCN's Silva Pereira was at the rally and has this story.
Rabbit protection organizations and bunny lovers organized a national day of action against the natural foods markets, Whole Foods, in response to the company's sale of rabbit meat. A group of rabbit protection activists from the Zoo Corner Rabbit Rescue here in San Gabriel gathered in front of the Arroyo Parkway Whole Foods in Pasadena in hopes to raise awareness. Whole Foods Market's decision of selling rabbit meat has been drawing nationwide criticism from rescue organizations and protesters who want to stop consumers from developing a crave for rabbit meat, who many consider to be pets, not food.
We don't think that there is a reason to open up a new marketplace for another meat product, especially from an animal that we consider our pet.
For activists, there is the concern about the loss of standards and values Whole Foods holds, and that some say they fail to keep.
It is concerning and hypocritical that Whole Foods Market can have a cruelty-free cosmetics aisle. This mascara is not animal tested, is not tested on rabbits. And then hop over to the meat department and there's a whole slaughtered rabbit for sale. It makes absolutely no sense to us.
In a statement released by Whole Foods, the company says it will abide to the strict animal welfare standards already implemented for all of its animal products. Regardless if Whole Foods starts carrying rabbit meat, some shoppers will continue to shop with their favorite neighborhood market.
Well, I don't eat bunny rabbits, so it doesn't affect me, and I know they probably want some type of support, but I don't know. Bunny rabbits, it's like people who eat cow meat and veal and everything else, so.
Although rabbit meat isn't being sold in other states, it is currently being sold in California. However, rabbit rescue organizations have been protesting in other locations nationwide. Reporting from Pasadena, I'm Sylvia Pereira, Crown City News.
And now it's time for the Morning Buzz, and we have Evan Money joining us, best-selling author, global entrepreneur, and a movie producer. And you're also a part of our advisory board, so thank you for being here, Evan. So much to talk about with you.
What don't you do?
We're going to go into all of the things that you do, but first we wanted to start with the Morning Buzz and the story that is just gut-wrenching, the whole beheading of veteran journalist James Foley. And you know, there's such a conflict in the media right now of should people be showing the video of the beheading? Is that a terrorist act? Because in the UK they've labeled it a terrorist act. Mm-hmm. And I just want to ask you guys, have you guys watched this video?
Yeah, I mean, you can't overstate it enough. It is just ghastly. I mean, almost surreal when I was even aware of such a video, and just how personal the attack was on James's family. I mean, I think they were sent email correspondence, and it's just terrible, just terrible.
Now, from the duality standpoint, what's interesting, number one, I know Twitter shut it down, which a lot of people are excited about, but from a duality standpoint as a father with children, I look at the Disney side, and we're going on rides, and it's, you know, Alice in Wonderland and off with her head, and oh, it's so fun, and then when you flip it around, it's like, wait a minute, people are still doing this. It kind of forces you to back, like, oh my gosh, this is massive, and for me, it's just a great reminder to me of what America has done, because until 17 whatever, until the Declaration of Independence was penned, until the Constitution was penned, the concept of how people acted was normal society up until that time. It was, hey, we're going to conquer, we're going to kill all enemies, and anybody is against us, off with their head, whatever.
Challenge you to a duel, and
yeah.
that.
I mean,
So
and that
perhaps
was,
in the media of that era, something like this would be accepted.
well, yeah, I mean, there really wasn't media, but
mean,
that's
if
how.
there had been.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
how
for
did
all
you-
of human life, that was how people did things.
How
And all
did
of
you
a sudden-
talk to your kids about this?
Oh, that's a great one. We're a big shelter family, homeschool family. So there's certain things that, well, my son would probably get excited about. He's a boy, and we're about battling and doing all this.
boy.
So we haven't really broached that subject, but it's just interesting to see, for me, as someone realizing, okay, what can I do here? You know, we're here. It's a flat world, but I'm here. We live in America. I'm dealing with the 110 traffic getting over here, and this guy's and his family are dealing with a whole different situation. So for me, it's more of appreciation to say, wow, look at how far we've come. Look at what this country stands for. Look at the great things that we have here. How can we keep it great? And realizing that, you know what, that stuff, you know, we're not that far separated now because of this flat
absolutely.
world.
Well, speaking of yours, you know, kind of pillars, we're going to get into that a little bit later. But, you know, there's a Harvard researcher out there who's talking about that there might be a possibility that we could live to 150 years old.
I'm pretty excited about this. I don't want to
Are
go
you?
anywhere anytime soon.
They're saying grapes are, you know, the secret to the magic. But would you want to live to 150 years old?
If I had Paulo's hair, yes. Absolutely,
Well, look
yes.
at that shining head. I will touch it later. for good luck.
Well, I mean, I think one thing you have to consider is like, what about the quality of life? I mean, sure, you can live to be 150, but are those going to be quality years?
Can you afford to live to 150? I mean, we can hardly live to 100 for a lot of people.
It's pretty difficult right now, but I mean, I think if you're going to take a plus side out of this, I mean, I guess you kind of prolong being a teenager. Now, kind of like how I'm doing.
Isn't that what men do all the time anyway? How's that going to be different?
Evan's a mature guy. He's wearing a vest.
Well, if you saw my car, you'd know where I stand on that standpoint. But what's interesting, I heard a great story, and we actually read it in one of our books for the kids. There was a lady who lived to 120. Oh, no, she was 122. 122. Wow. And they said, well, what's the secret? You know, how can we do this? And she says, well, it's a little bit of exercise. She was riding her bike in her hundreds.
Oh my gosh.
I was talking about quality of life.
I have to tell my mom about
yeah,
that.
talking about quality of life. Riding her bike in her hundreds, okay? She said, a little bit of exercise, a little bit of red wine, a little bit. Okay, that's
I
the
like
grapes.
this lady
yeah?
already.
Okay. And here's the
That's
kicker.
doable.
Here's the kicker. She says, I stopped smoking at 120.
Oh my God.
Stops. Oh.
I don't know if most researchers would be on board
There's
with
the
that
kicker.
part. Yeah. But you know, whatever makes you happy, I think, is the key. You know, be active, get out there, do stuff. I just don't
Seems
know
pretty
about
basic, doesn't it?
I don't know what I'd still be doing at 150. I guess I would figure it out.
The world of the future probably ripe with distractions.
Don't go away. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more with Evan about his new movie, Words of Art.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
And now, CCN Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood starts right now.
back with us here at CCN Sunrise because we wanted to hear more about his movie, Words of Art. So how did you decide about this movie, about making it?
Ooh, I think it's like a lot of people, especially in this town, you know, I tell people, everybody's got a movie in them, everybody's got a book in them, you know, but for most people it stays there. And so I'm on the couch, I'm watching this documentary that I was really excited about. I mean, literally, I was frisking the mailman for my Netflix disc, when's it coming? And I put it in, I watched it, and I was so disappointed. And at that moment, I was like, okay, surely I could do better than that.
We're not calling out that
No,
documentary.
we're not putting anybody under the bus, but I was like, surely I could do better than that.
Well, how long was the idea festering to do a movie?
Wow, I've been making movies as a kid. Back with me and my brother, Paul and I were rehashing, for you folks at home, we were rehashing the glory days of
TV.
Yes, but we had a VHS camera, you know, with the cassette, and me and my brother were, you know, and there were no editing tools back then, so me and my brother would have to shoot in order and no editing and get it right the first time. And so we were always making movies as kids, per se. And I always wanted to make a feature film, but I didn't want to be like everybody else where they sold out their idea, it wasn't what they wanted, and then they were bitter and angry, so I just kind of bided my time.
So once production rolled on, you must have felt like a big kid, right?
Well, it was, well, yeah, you feel like a big kid once you get the bills for everything.
Yeah.
Now you're back to being an adult.
But what is Words of Art all about? I mean, I was looking at the trailer and I kind of see, you know, the inspirational message you want to get across. You worked with Joel Osteen, which we'll find out how you connected with him. But what is the movie about?
Well, it really just talks about the art form and the true power of the spoken word. Because words are destiny makers or they're dream breakers, and it's our choice. And the core theme that I found out as we went from person to person to person, traveling across the United States for over a year interviewing people, is that it seemed that the most powerful words weren't from a Zig Ziglar or this, you know, big guy on stage or a president or whatever. It was the most powerful words were spoken from parents.
Oh, yes.
And those were the words that the kids remembered, that they held on to. And so a lot of these big guys, Joel, for example, or Darren Hardy, or some of these key guys, it was the words that were spoken from their parents that really propelled them to where they are today.
It puts a lot of pressure on parents of like, am I going to give some like, you know, wise statement to them? Everything feels like it should be so profound. But how did you connect with Joel in the first place?
Joel was that's everyone's favorite question. How do you get Joel? So, you know,
Yeah, Joel Osteen in the movie.
I just called the church and, hi, this is Joel. Victoria and I can't come to the phone right now.
Very approachable.
Yes, it was a process getting
Money
through
calling.
Yeah, exactly. It was a very process getting through the gatekeepers and everything else. So once we finally got through and they understand the message that we were looking for, they were on board and they opened, I mean, they rolled out the red carpet for us.
That's awesome. What did any of your parents, either of your parents, say to you that's really stuck with you?
Wow, that's a great one. That's a great one. I think a lot of it for me on certain sides was what wasn't said. You know, wow, I wish my parents would have said that. I wish they would have done that. Unfortunately for me, my mom's great words of wisdom and words of art, I didn't recognize until later. And as I mature and I get older, I realize, wow, my mom was really smart. And so that's the one, for me, disappointment I have is that my mom is still in heaven, so she's in heaven now, so she didn't get a chance to see, you know, me really understanding all her wise words.
Just want to ask you briefly, when you talk about words, and it might get a little deep here, but I mean, does it take on an energy of its own, words, like on a metaphysical respect, do you feel? Is that kind of where you're coming from with it?
Well, words are so powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at, from a sports side, I've seen a lot of big sports stars talk about how, you know, people understand, well, why are they doing these things and why are they acting this way? And I've heard people talk about, well, when growing up in the hood and we don't have a lot of money, words are everything because you don't own anything. Right. And all you have is a word. Or you look at a coach, for example, right? How is it that this team with all these great players can't succeed, but yet a coach comes in and says the right word? And all of a sudden, the power there.
The energy.
Yeah. Well, we're going to feel your power and energy because you are on our advisory board. So we're so thankful for you just providing your words and wisdoms to us and that we get to see your movie. So come back anytime.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you for stopping by. Yeah.
We'll be back with Mary Winters talking to Scott Shaban in Senior Providers Network.
They help find the most helpful resources right online. Next.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 68 children is diagnosed with autism. That's about a 30% increase in 2 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
The internet is full of information for everyone. For seniors, the hardest part is knowing where and how to look.
For her Senior Solutions segment, Mary Winters talks to Scott Chebin with Senior Providers Network to help older folks find helpful resources.
When you have a senior who you love and there's an emergency, oftentimes we go to the internet to find answers. But so often there's just a huge amount of information. It's difficult to get through and understand. And so what we really want to find is something that's easy to get through and streamline what we need so that we can get the answers right away. So I have asked Scott Chebin, who is one of the co-founders of Senior Providers Network, to join me so we can discuss some of the resources that he has on his site. Scott, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the 5 categories that you have on your site so we can really streamline those really important topics.
Absolutely. We've tried to really put basic things together. So there's services in the home that are provided by professional services. There's topics on housing, finance, legal, and we even touch a little bit on Medicare.
Okay, so talk about Medicare. Medicare is something that is a benefit that you earn at 65.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about what you have listed on Medicare.
Well, I mean, we kind of touch on subjects of, what the difference is between Medicare and Medicaid, which is Medi-Cal out here. Mm-hmm. Being the federal program, Medicare, and then the state, really the Medi-Cal.
And Medi-Cal is really more Medi-Cal in California, Medicaid almost everywhere else, right?
Right, nationally.
Okay, so that's really an income-based program, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
So somebody who's lower income would qualify for maybe both benefits?
Correct, absolutely, absolutely.
So you can go through on your site and it would drill down some of those specific items.
Absolutely. A lot of times people are, it really touches on the unknown of what the difference is between home care versus home health care. It's just a little difference in wording, but completely difference in services.
It is, because that touches on something that's covered under your insurance versus private pay, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. See, the home care is really the non-medical side. And the home health care is really the skilled nursing side.
Right. So, okay. So you have a whole section devoted then to just discussing home services. Talk about some of the other home service items you might have on the site.
Oh, we kind of touch on different subjects. So the way the website is really to educate folks is it breaks everything down, what home care is, and it gives a broad definition of everything, and then it breaks it down into separate subjects like palliative care, respite care, hospice care, and the list goes on. And each one has a definition and basically how it's paid for. Because a lot of times people call in, they don't realize that home care, which is the non-medical side, is actually really out-of-pocket or long-term care insurance.
Right. But I also like on their site, it's just small, nice little,
Absolutely.
Just little paragraph. It doesn't go into...
We want to be right to the point, straight, easy, and not a lot of fluff.
Right, exactly.
A lot of people are searching on mobile devices. They don't have time to be scrolling and trying to read big articles.
Right. How about veterans benefits? Do you mention anything like that?
Absolutely, absolutely. My wife is both vets and really enjoy working with our vets. A lot of times people don't realize that they are eligible for these benefits. There could be a surviving spouse that lost their loved one who was in World War II and didn't realize that she's actually eligible for benefits herself.
Right.
And it's it's kind of tough.
So they call it aid in attendance,
Aid
correct?
in attendance, absolutely.
And I think you actually have some of the application process or some of the things
Absolutely,
that are really
absolutely.
important to process that information.
Yeah. The government websites they're kind of tough to navigate.
Yeah.
So what we try to do is actually break it down into a simpler fashion where you can kind of step by step and how to collect all of the forms and documents that you're going to need, and you can click right on the form and it takes you right to the current form, and try to make it really simple. So.
And there's some things that you caution people about so that their applications aren't rejected or postponed and that sort of thing as well.
Absolutely. There's little tidbits of information that we try to add in there just so you don't get delayed in getting your benefits. And it could be tricky. Could be very tricky.
Now, are those benefits retroactive, do you know?
They are.
Okay, so you can apply, and I think it's taking 6 to 9 months sometimes to get some of those benefits?
Yeah, that's the average. But there again, making sure your paperwork is filled out properly, you're sending it to the correct regional center, and everything is perfect. And
great.
Better chance of maybe getting it a little earlier.
Good. Thank you for being here today. Will you come back and share about some of the other topics later?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Scott.
Thanks for having us.
All right, Paula, I don't know about you. How is your mom with using the internet and getting these resources?
She's very internet savvy.
She is?
Yeah. I
Your
mean,
mom
she's
is a
doing
wealth of
everything
talents.
online. Well, I mean, the nature of her work is she's behind a computer all the time. So, I mean, she's teaching me about some stuff sometimes too, which is kind of embarrassing.
I don't know what happened. My parents are really intelligent, but when all of a sudden they get to a website and they're like, I just, if I click this, is it going to blow up? So I don't know.
Still a little nervous with the old computer
A little
doohickey.
bit. They're smart folks, but I don't know what happens.
Yeah. Well, so a new bike plan for local San Gabriel Valley is in the works.
And how to cope with the empty nest when kids head to school in Family Focus segment next.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
Biking around the San Gabriel Valley might have gotten a lot easier.
Two organizations are trying to make sure new and existing paths connect to area icons. CCN's Denise Salcedo has that story.
The City Council of San Gabriel met with nonprofit organizations Bike San Gabriel Valley and Day One to review a master bike plan drafted by the two organizations to promote a healthy and more active lifestyle by connecting existing and proposed bikeways surrounding major points of interest.
With this active transportation master plan, we are hoping to address not only the cities that don't have a bike plan, also to maybe provide some kind of guidance for pedestrian linkages to transportation centers, like the Gold Line, the bus station in El Monte.
The Bike San Gabriel Valley and Day One have partnered together along with 5 cities, including San Gabriel, Almonte, Baldwin Park, Monterey Park, and South Almonte. The two organizations created a detailed outline of what the proposed project would look like, focusing on a dual mission to help cyclists get from place to place easily and create infrastructures to improve biker safety.
One concern that most people have, especially parents, with regard to their children riding their bikes on public streets. It simply isn't safe. So we're really looking to address the safety issue, the obesity issue, and of course our air quality issue here in the region.
The San Gabriel Valley Bicycle Plan has laid out a 15 to 20-year plan depending on the financial and timely needs of the project. The city would have their own plan focusing on physical enhancements to promote safety and cycling. Reporting from San Gabriel, I'm Denise Salcedo, CCN Sunrise.
Lots of kids have started school and leaving parents wondering what to do next.
Dr. Michelle Meyer consoles parents facing the empty nest syndrome in her Family Focus segment. it's really about getting to know each other once again, isn't it?
It really is. And I think anyone with a parent has seen Toy Story 3, and there's that gut-wrenching moment when Andy gives away his box of toys and he drives off to college, and no matter how old your kid is, you know that time is coming.
Oh, I'm already crying.
Terrible, yes.
That was a pretty emotional scene for me
It's
as well.
for anybody. It's really emotional because we have to know that that's coming. Emptiness syndrome is a series of symptoms of sadness and grief and loss with the absence of a child. And most people typically experience it, some people don't, but there are ways to alleviate some of those sad symptoms. First thing we can do is we can plan ahead. Plan ahead for yourself and plan ahead for your child. Teach your child to be an adult. Teach your child to be both personally and socially responsible. Teach them to balance a checkbook. Teach them to make their own appointments. Do all these things so that they don't have to depend on you as a parent, and you don't have to always worry about making sure everything is done for them. As an adult, we can plan ahead. Spend more time with your significant other. Spend more time with your spouse. The other thing I tell parents to do is make a dream list. Think of all the things you've always wanted to do, hobbies, career, going back to school, and think about what you can do to sort of, your priorities have changed in life, so now what are you going to do with your time? The other thing is you can spend other time with parents who are also experiencing some of these same symptoms. The one thing I do caution is that don't make too many changes at one time. Really transition to some of these things so that you can really experience the best of it. It's not an easy task, but we all have to do some of this. Sunita and Paulo, I think at the end of the day, if we do our best to raise our kids to be both personally and socially responsible, and then we can send them off, and we don't, and I sort of caution parents, don't be too sad about that, because then you're modeling that. We want our kids to be emotionally healthy, and so we have to model some of them emotional
It's true.
healthiness.
Have some composure. I really relate to that cartoon where it shows the mom where the kid's going off to preschool and they're kind of like, okay, time to go to school.
Absolutely.
But then when they're older and going to college and they're like clinging to him, like, don't leave me. So
absolutely.
yes, composure. I'm working on it.
We want them to be healthy adults, and so we have to show them to do that. Otherwise, they don't learn how to be independent, and they will always sort of be needing you, and you'll always be needing them, and we'll never make that
Healthy,
important disconnect.
adults.
Absolutely,
that's what it's all about.
Yes.
Thanks for that, Michelle. Well, fire on the mountains in the San Gabriel Valley is causing some headaches.
Anna Nursen, when one mom was asked to feed her baby in a bathroom, coming up in our second half hour.
Enroll, we say, we want you to be okay. Enroll, we say, take care of people for goodness sake. There's a plan for every budget, so don't accept defeat. Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
And now, from Pasadena, it's CCN Sunrise with Sunita Joshua Madison, Paulo Alejandria, the Crown City News team, and the CCN Sunrise segment stars. It's time to wake up, San Gabriel Valley, with CCN Sunrise.
We're back with our second half hour of CCN Sunrise. I'm Sunita Joshua Madison.
And I'm Paulo Alejandria. So we might be running low on our favorite hazelnut spread.
I'm getting the shakes. They're talking about a hazelnut shortage, which is what my favorite little dessert here. Actually, I used to think it was healthy. I've come to terms with it. It's not. But
who cares though? It's delicious.
Are the prices of Nutella going to go up? Am I going to be able to afford it?
And they're already pretty steep too, as far as spreadable things go.
Well, absolutely. They said that there was a big, ice storm and it wiped out a lot of the hazelnuts supplies in Europe. And so the price might go up, but I'm so worried about this because I can like snort this thing, I think. But, they did say Nutella actually buys 25% of the hazelnuts sold. So they're like, they know about it. Keep calm and carry on.
Yeah.
Nutella will be there for us.
I mean, I'll never forget my first Nutella experience. I discovered it back in college, trying to eat on a budget, and it's been with me since.
It's always that pleasant little pal. But now here's a look at some news headlines happening right here in the San Gabriel Valley.
And now, CCN, Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood starts right now.
The Tecolote fire broke out on Sunday, August 17th near the San Gabriel Canyon. LA County fire officials say flames hit about 274 acres near the canyon and East Fork roads, north of Azusa. The fire started at 2:30 in the afternoon on August 17th. Nearly 200 firefighters were sent to battle the blaze, along with several helicopters. The flames have caused 7 heat-related injuries. An investigation is ongoing to find the cause of the fire, with 90% of the perimeter contained. Crystal Lake area remains evacuated, and closed as well is Highway 39 north of East Fork Road. Get ready for road closures during the Gold Line construction work taking place in the San Gabriel Valley. Starting August 24th through November, Mountain Avenue will be closed from the center of Duarte Road south through the intersection. Duarte Road will open with 1 lane of traffic in each direction. During the 3-month closure, construction crews will work long hours to realign the road for visibility and install storm drains, traffic signals, and sidewalks. But now it's time for the Morning Buzz, and we have friend of the show, board member Sandra Davis, here to talk about some of the stories that are on everyone's mind at this point. And coming locally, Sandra, the big news is that there was a school shooting averted at South Pasadena. And it's just, I mean, in some ways we have to rejoice that it was averted. And it could have been just so terrible. But it's just sad that it was planned right here in our community.
Yeah, and especially since it seems like you're seeing more and more of these kind of things happening in the news.
Did you ever expect this here locally?
No, not locally, but I do think that it's sad, first of all. But I think that what should happen, and hopefully will happen, is the students will tell the authorities, like, you know what, my friend is having a difficult time here. You know, let's see if we can talk to him or her to try to combat some of this, you know, just
craziness.
You know,
and
it's
it
really
seems
difficult.
Like that's what happened in this situation. That they had threatened one of the kids and you know, threatened to kill him, and then told him about their plan, and then he went to authorities, is what they're saying.
Okay.
So it was kind of a model situation in averting the disaster. So we can only be thankful for that. But you know, is it hard to like want to send our kids to school?
But, you know, you can't, you know, you have to just allow life to happen. You know, otherwise we're always going to be in a fearful state, and that's not a great state to be in. You just have to live your life and tell your kids, be close to them, talk to them about all kinds of things, and just hopefully everything will be okay for them.
I mean, and another thing, you don't want to take away from it, but with more stories like this, it just seems like maybe perhaps we're living in a more violent time. You know, with kids, maybe they're a little angry nowadays.
Well, I think, you know, they have access to so much. They have access to information on how to, you know, collect an arsenal, bomb making,
information, all that kind of stuff.
And then, you know, with the checks, I don't know. I mean, South Pasadena is a wealthy community. They probably have money to buy, you know, a whole arsenal. But you know, now these kids are going to school. The school just started yesterday, and there's heightened security, which in some ways will make you feel better that okay, you know, this is going to be under control. Yeah,
it's just sad. Yeah,
to have cops all over the place when you're trying to go to school.
Yeah, kind of have that military background. You know, no, that's.
Well, speaking of another sad situation from my view, my Facebook blew up the other day on all the mommy blogs. They were talking about, there was a mom, she was shopping in the Beverly Hills Anthropology store, and she was about to spend a decent chunk of change there, but her little baby started crying, so she started nursing. And I think she went and, you know, had a cover and everything, but the manager came over and very nicely said, maybe you'd feel more comfortable breastfeeding in the bathroom. Bathroom with no chair, no nothing. What do you think about this?
Well, I mean, you know, first of all, I think breastfeeding is natural. I think it's a way to be close to your child, a way for you to develop a relationship with your child. So to make someone feel funny about breastfeeding is just like, to me, a no-no.
I mean, I understand, doing it in public, it's because, the mother is multitasking. My question is that little shroud that kind of comes over, I mean, is that like a happy medium that maybe some people
But she
might be
did
averse.
have a cover. That's the thing. So
Yeah.
they actually scheduled all these moms. I was telling you how it blew up. All these moms scheduled a nurse in at the anthropology store the very next day and had full media coverage about it. You know, I'm just wondering, there have been times I've had moms, you know, kind of breastfeed in front of me without a cover. At first, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that. But honestly, maybe it's just a point of seeing it. We're trying so hard
really
to cover
something
it.
You're not used to seeing.
Yeah, you're not used to seeing it, but if it's something that's natural, you know, you have to get with it. You know.
But what about you as a mom? I mean, were you breastfeeding in public back in the day?
Oh, it's been so long ago. But yeah, I think I did. I went to the restroom, or you know, because then they didn't have a lot of amenities for breastfeeding.
Even
but,
then,
you know,
they feel like you're isolating me for doing something that's totally natural.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's totally
I don't know, but the
natural.
mamas got them back with that nursing. So
certainly did.
thank you so much for being here,
thank
Sandra.
you.
And
That's a pleasure.
wait to have you back. Up next, meters to help the homeless when Art Center's Guillaume Wolf joins us on set.
And a little later, we'll meet a beloved comic book artist trying to raise money for his wife's medical bills. Coming up.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
You make me wear my bike helmet. You taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules. You tell me to stay away from drugs. To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
There are new meters all over Pasadena, but they aren't the ones to pay for parking. More like paying it forward to help the homeless. Guillaume Wolf, professor from the Art Center of Design, joins us now to tell us about the Meters for Change. Thanks for being here, Guillaume.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So where did this idea come from for these meters that we've been seeing?
You know, it was an idea that the city of Pasadena came up with and approached us with. And it was the idea of creating something that would create a real change in the life of homeless people. Not just, you know, doing a little thing that helps them for 5 minutes, but there's no change. So the name of the campaign is actually Real Change.
And if you could expand on that, exactly how is it going to be helping the homeless?
The idea is that the people in Pasadena will see these interesting meters that are colorful, and then when they put money in there, all the money will come towards getting them a real home, so taking the homeless out from the streets. And then it's a complete 100%, 360 operation to help them find a home, but also a job, counseling and everything to put them back on their feet.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to ask really quickly, you know, I went to the Make Music Festival and there was a homeless gentleman on the road and he had a sign and he was asking for money. And at first it started off all like, you know, please help me out. And then it started getting angrier and angrier, like he started using swear words like, why can't you give me some, you know, bleeping money, blah, blah, blah. So do you think this really came out of wanting to get panhandling off the streets and contain it?
I think it's a win-win for everybody because there's two ways to look at this problem. There is the humanistic way, which says, well, these people really need help. They're human beings. We need to do something for them. And then there is more like, trying to fix problems because sometimes the situation, as you just described, is not nice. So this campaign is amazing because it addresses both ends of the situation, which is helping human beings, bring them back in society. And there are a lot of success stories with Pasadena. and then also avoiding situations like the one you just described. So it's win-win for everybody.
And aesthetically, it works too. Let me ask you, the people that are involved with the project, I mean, just from what you can tell, how excited are they to be doing this?
This is a super exciting project. This is also really cutting edge. What's very interesting is that Pasadena is really an innovative city, and what I'm really excited about is to talk to you about the relationship between Art Center College of Design and Pasadena, because this is one project you see, but it's kind of like the tip of the iceberg of a lot of things that are happening. You know, the city came to see the school. The school is gonna, you'll hear more from the school. There's a lot of interesting projects that are gonna impact the community. So the way it works is this synergy between Pasadena being innovative and the school also really cutting edge. So it's really interesting.
Well, we look forward to hearing more from the Art Center and doing some other reports and just really seeing how the students are, you know, use their innovative designs to make change.
And catching these meters around town, it's great.
Yes.
They're so colorful. But thank you so much for being here
Thank you
and
for having
sharing
me.
this.
Thank you very much.
A comic book icon is raising money to pay the bills for his wife's cancer care.
We'll take you to a unique fundraiser his comic book community put together for him when we come up next.
Preventing wildfires. That's all Smokey wants for his 70th birthday.
With the help of his rabbit samurai and a few friends, Pasadena comic book artist Stan Sakai is hoping to conquer his wife's cancer. CCN's Andy Rocco was at the fundraiser to raise money for her treatment.
We're here in Los Angeles to talk to Stan Sakai, a renowned comic book artist, about his wife's debilitating illness and the support they received from fellow artists.
We're just overwhelmed with all the outpouring of support, both from the professional community as well as the fans.
In 2004, Sakai's wife, Sharon, discovered she had an inoperable brain tumor, which eventually left her paralyzed on one side of her face. The tumor has been aggressive, and Sharon is now blind and deaf. After a long hospital stay, Sharon is now back home, but requires 24-hour care and medications that exceed their insurance coverage. Members of the Nonprofit Comic Art Professional Society, or CAPS, heard about the Sakai situation and wanted to help.
After a few weeks or months of going to meetings after this had happened, you could see, you know, like Stan's a, you know, older guy, but he's, you know, virile, he's young, you know, he's always happy, always got a smile. And so what I noticed was that this kind of, I don't want to say he lost his step, just wasn't his usual self.
Earlier this year, members of CAPS held an online auction with hundreds of art pieces sold over a period of 19 weeks. Comics who donated their art included Bill Morrison, Adam Hughes, and Gordy Burnett. All proceeds went directly to the Sakais to help fund Sharon's medical expenses, but it still didn't cover all the extra costs. Now they put together the Sakai Project. Artists celebrate 30 years of Usagi Yojimbo. It's a 160-page book featuring Sakai's own Usagi work, as well as the work of hundreds of artists, including The Simpsons creator Matt Groening. The book was released a few weeks ago in time for Comic-Con in San Diego and sold out at a show.
Well, of course I follow Usagi, but I've always kind of had a softness for Nielsen Ground Thumper.
Stan has just been one of the nicest people in the comic book industry I have ever met.
As you can see, many fans came out today to support Stan Sakai. In Los Angeles, Andy Rocco, CCN Sunrise.
There's an easy way to save money and still stay fit and beautiful while working out from home. Segment star Loa Blasucci has more in the CCN Sunrise Fit and Beautiful segment.
I'm about to introduce you and this great city of ours to their new BFF. I know, Paolo, you think I'm your BFF, but let me tell you, this might change your mind. Foam roller. This is what I call bang for your buck. I never wanted to be a gym rat. I never wanted to spend 3 hours in the gym. Everything I do that I'm going to show you is going to be completely efficient and bang for your buck. Time, bang for your buck, money as well. All right, here we go. We'll talk about this one later. Fun things. Oh my gosh, best friend. Here we go. Let me just show you the basic. Let's just get going. You got to know how to do this. I know so many people that say, I see those things, but I don't know what to do with it. So here's how you start. We're going to set it right here at the low back. So I tuck my belly in. I'm going to kind of lean back a little bit, but this is stability equipment. So as of right now, my feet are holding me in place. So get real serious about planting those feet. See how I lift my rear end up just a little bit? Now, fingertips behind the ears. You girls and guys with long hair, let me tell you, get it up and get it in check because it will surprise you. This roller will yank it right out. Here we go. We're just going to nice and slow come right through the spine, just gently rolling up, warming up the back. Wonderful for your alignment. Just coming through those low back muscles, bring it down nice and slow. Now we're going to come up a little bit higher up into the upper back. This is just you learning how to use the roller, just kind of practicing with the roller. Now, when I want to get into my upper shoulders, because you know, it is a festival of shoulder tension in this city. I am not kidding you. So if I want to do that, I got to protect my hair. Now I'm going to walk down, drop my head back, lift up my rear end, head goes back. Now look, where's the roller? Yay, happy dance. It's right on the tops of my shoulders. That is the best part of the day. Oh my gosh, if you don't love this, then I don't know what to tell you. Here we go. I'll release it. I'm going to bring it down, set the rear end down. So that's a nice little basic starter exercise on how to use your foam roller. This little freak, we're coming to him real soon. And this other best friend of mine, travel guy, oh yes, goes everywhere with me. So thanks. I love you crazy kids. You guys have an awesome day. And I'm going to see you real soon with some other awesome stuff.
It's a favorite fruit of the summer, certainly mine.
But it's not just a snack for Chef Dave. He's cooking it up for a full meal with watermelon next and a taste of CCN Sunrise.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making Home Affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
If you want to make sure you get enough watermelon before it goes out of season, the Mad Chef Dave Matthews has you covered with a full-course watermelon meal.
Okay guys, today it's all about watermelon. It's almost the end of the season and there's so much fun to do things with this watermelon.
I love watermelon.
You love it. So what I want you to start with, I'm going to have you start chopping up some onion.
You're going to make me cry.
I'm going to make you cry today. What you're going to do is we're going to make this tomato watermelon salad and it's delicious.
Well, exactly.
So what you want to do, yeah, you want to cut, here let me show you. I'll do a little bit here. So just cut through here.
We got a bachelor over there.
Yeah, so you want to just cut it through here. So do them as small as you can.
And try not to slice any of my
Try
fingers.
not to cut your hands. And you're going to cut this way and then cut that way. Does that make sense?
It's a little bit more advanced than
It's
what
a little
I'm
bit more
used to.
advanced. So I'm going to have you start slicing up some of this watermelon. Have you sliced watermelon before?
Pretty much, you just need them in cubes.
Yeah, just cube it up. And we're going to do 2 different salads here today. So I've got a little bowl for you. Here, why don't you step on in here?
Okay.
Oops, sorry. Now, I've made a little bit of a watermelon agua fresca for us. I thought it would be a nice way for us to celebrate the season. So this particular drink is actually really easy to make. I made it with agave nectar, I did a half a cup of agave nectar, along with 2 cups of water and then some ice. And then you just want to puree your watermelon. Now I put watermelon in here and I actually cubed it up and then broke it down because I like the segments in there. But this is so delicious and it's just a really natural, healthy drink. If you don't want a lot of sugar, the agave nectar is a perfect solution. So I think you guys are going to really like this.
Can you use regular sugar if you need to? If
You
that's
can,
what you have?
absolutely. If you're going to make a simple syrup, what you're going to want to do is you're going to take a half a cup of white sugar and 2 cups of water, throw it into a saucepan on the stovetop and just boil it down for about 2 minutes. And then you've got simple syrup. And simple syrup's always good to have on hand. You can stick it in the freezer and put it in cubes if you need it, or you can leave it in its liquid form in your refrigerator, and that'll last for a while.
The agave base is better for the waistline.
True.
Right?
True. You can also use natural sugar. Coconut sugar, that's a new one.
Oh, coconut sugar.
Coconut sugar, yeah, it's really popular.
So are we good here?
You are
Did I
good there.
follow
Okay, so
your-
go ahead and start slicing it up. So that's for you, my
dicing
dear.
it? Okay.
Can I taste this already?
You may taste it.
Okay.
Here, wait, you know what? I forgot to give you the
Ooh,
mint.
watch out there.
Oh, I love
You gotta
mint.
have mint. It's all about the mint.
Oh, yeah.
Here you go. How we doing over there?
Pretty good, I guess.
Oh my gosh, the mint
Isn't that
is
good?
just perfect with it too.
So this drink is actually such an easy drink to make. So it's got lime juice in there. It's got a little lime rind.
It's so light, and it's sometimes, you know, you need to drink so much water, but sometimes you just want a little twist. So it actually tastes a lot like water, but it has a little zing to it.
It does.
Let me try that too. Is that all right?
There it is for you.
It's
yeah.
right there.
Right.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're making a mango salsa, which is good for any kind of mango mango watermelon salsa. And this is fantastic for any kind of a topping for fish. You want to do it for chicken. It's delicious. So you're going to take mangoes. You're going to take your cut up watermelon.
I hope I cut them
They're
small.
perfectly,
Okay.
they're perfect. Are you crying yet?
I'm
for me?
starting to cry.
Okay, come on, bring it on.
You're bringing me to tears.
I usually do that. Usually when you're in the kitchen. Okay, so go ahead and let's throw some onion in
Just
here.
don't cut yourself.
Are we, this is a good amount of onion?
That is perfect.
We don't need
Well, we
tears
got
from
Band-Aids
injuries.
on deck.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Right here?
That's it. Throw it in.
Let's do
Oh, and
it.
then you're gonna put lime in there?
Throw some
oh
lime
my
juice in
gosh,
it. Okay,
those
wait,
are
hold
awesome
off my
flavors.
onion.
Oh.
That's okay.
We're gonna have some strong breath. Bring
That's
on the
right.
gum after
That's
this.
right. Okay, so we got this. And then basically you're just going to marinate it with a little bit of fresh lime juice.
Now, would you do a whole lime in there? Or?
I would do a whole lime.
Okay.
I might even do 2 limes.
Getting
But for
risky.
this, yeah.
Yeah,
I love
let's
limes.
roll the
And then you
dice.
can also take some of the rind, grate it, and put it on. I loved grated lime rind or lemon rind. It's
Oh, yeah.
fantastic on there.
And it's a nice presentation.
Or your preserved lemons that you've shown us how to do at some time.
Preserved lemons would be really delicious.
That's what
Okay.
I remember.
All right, so cheers to you both.
Oh my
And then I want you to try these salads and tell me what you think.
Cheers.
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 Cheers to the end of summer.
Cheers.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. All right.
I love this
So this
drink.
is our salad,
So easy.
and it's such an easy salad to make. It's just watermelon, tomatoes, Kalamata olives, a little bit of onion, a little bit of lime juice, a little salt. You can also add cheese if you like to this. Today I did not add cheese. You could do
You
feta
would
cheese.
impress people at a summer barbecue
Oh my gosh.
so much with this.
And the great thing about this is it's all healthy in this dish.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you really can't gain any weight from eating this because it's all healthy.
Oh, I love hearing that.
So here we go, guys. You're gonna take that. I want you
Okay.
to enjoy. Here, you can use that.
I
Thank
will.
you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So tell me what you think. I think this is fantastic.
Such a perfect blend of flavors. I mean, there's
Wow.
so many tastes in here.
It is, and I
And they
added
just come Right, I was together. thinking
What's
kind of
wonderful
salted
on
by
this,
different types of
yeah,
flavors.
there's also parsley. I chopped up parsley really fine, and then I also did mint.
But they're
So
perfectly balanced.
It's a perfect summer salad.
Could
So
you
if
put
come-
cilantro in here, or would that be
Absolutely.
too much?
Tarragon would be really good in that. You could really spice it up.
I just love this.
So buy your watermelons now and make these salads. They're
time to
so
do it.
easy, especially for Labor Day coming up. It's an awesome
Perfect idea.
summer dish. Yeah.
I'll come right over.
Sounds good.
Well, that's it for this newscast, and we'd like to thank our sponsors for supporting our show.
Big thanks also to Evan Money, Guillaume Wolf, and Sandra Davis for joining us in the studio. Thanks also to all the CCN Sunrise crew, and especially to you out there for watching us. See you next time.